Listen to me, my people. Listen carefully, because what I am about to say tonight is not for everyone. It is for those who are tired of being ordinary. It is for those who have looked at their lives and said, there must be more than this. It is for those who know deep down they were created for something greater, yet year after year, the same story repeats itself. Why? Why do most never reach 100 zoazozen? Why do so many work hard, pray hard, hope hard, and yet remain in the same cycle, the same struggle, the same circle? I will tell you the truth, my brothers and sisters, not the truth that flatters, but the truth that frees. Because the truth that flatters keeps you where you are. The truth that frees, it cuts, it breaks, it shakes. But when it is done, it leaves you stronger than ever before. So tonight, listen with your heart. Listen not just with your ears, because this message, if it enters you, will not leave you the same. Most people never reach 100K because they are slaves to comfort. Yes, comfort. Comfort is the silent killer of destiny. It does not shout. It does not strike loudly. It whispers. It says, you're doing fine. It says, take it easy. It says, tomorrow you'll do more. And tomorrow becomes next week. Next week becomes next year. Next year becomes a lifetime. Comfort is the invisible prison that many never escape. They love to dream about greatness, but they hate to leave what is familiar. They want the promise, but not the process. They want the crown, but not the cross. Listen to me. Every great destiny begins with discomfort. Growth is uncomfortable. Change is uncomfortable. Discipline is uncomfortable. But discomfort is the womb of success. You say you want a 100K, but can you sit alone and build when everyone else is partying? You say you want 100K, but can you sacrifice your comfort now to invest in something that pays you later? You say you want 100K, but can you carry the weight of discipline when nobody claps for you? That is where most people fail. Not because they cannot, but because they will not. Most people never reach 100K because they are too emotional to be strategic. Yes, they allow their feelings to control their focus. One day they are motivated. The next day they are discouraged. One day they are working. The next day they are doubting. And you cannot build success on unstable emotions. Success does not respond to how you feel. It responds to what you do consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Listen, you cannot build wealth with a weekend mindset. You cannot reach 100K with sometimes discipline. You cannot go far if your emotions are the driver of your actions. Do not make permanent decisions based on temporary feelings. Feelings change, but principles remain. Most people never reach 100K because they seek validation, not transformation. They want people to see them grinding. They want to post the journey before they have results. They want applause before achievement. My friend, true success is built in silence. The loudest seasons of your life should be the seasons of your work, not your words. Stop showing people your plans. Show them your progress. Stop talking about what you will do. Do it and let results speak for you. You must understand the world does not reward intentions. It rewards execution. Intentions don't pay bills. Ideas don't create freedom. Action does. Consistent, disciplined, strategic action, even when you are tired, even when you are unseen, even when it hurts. Most people never reach 100K because they spend like slaves while dreaming like kings. You cannot rise financially if your lifestyle grows faster than your income. Some of you want to look rich before you are rich. You buy the shoes, the phone, the car, the clothes, not because you need them, but because you want others to think you have made it. Listen, there is no glory in pretending. There is no peace in performance. Live below your means so you can rise above your limits. If you cannot manage 1,000, you will not manage 100,000. Money does not change your habits. It exposes them. The rich are not just those who make money. They are those who know how to multiply it. You say you want to be successful, but what do you do with what you already have? Are you sowing or are you squandering? The harvest only comes to those who manage the seed wisely. Most people never reach 100K because they refuse to grow mentally. They pray for blessings with the same mindset that created their struggles. They want a new level with old thinking, but your mind is the gate to your money. If your thinking is small, your life will remain small. Success is first internal before it is external. The poverty that destroys most people is not in their pockets. It is in their perception. You cannot attract what you despise. You cannot hold what your mind rejects. If you secretly believe wealth is evil, if you secretly believe success is pride, if you secretly believe money corrupts, you will subconsciously push it away every time it comes near. Renew your mind. Prosperity begins in the mind long before it appears in the hand. Listen, if you cannot see yourself wealthy, you will never be. Because the picture inside becomes the reality outside. Most people never reach 100K because they quit too early. They sow one season and expect a harvest the next day. They want instant success in a world that rewards endurance. But greatness takes time. Nothing strong is built quickly. Every lasting success is tested by time, trials, and temptations. You cannot microwave your purpose. You cannot rush your refinement. When things get tough, most give up. They say, maybe it wasn't meant for me, but listen. The presence of pressure is not the absence of purpose. It is proof that something valuable is forming in you. Pressure reveals the strength of your foundation. If you give up in the middle, you lose the reward of the end. Most people never reach 100K because they are surrounded by the wrong voices. voices of doubt, voices of fear, voices that tell them it's impossible, voices that laugh when they dream. Your circle determines your ceiling. If you spend time with small thinkers, you will shrink your own potential. If you listen to people who fear risk, you will live in safety. And safety kills destiny. Find people who challenge you, not comfort you. Find voices that stretch your vision, not shrink it. One conversation with the right person can do more for your destiny than 10 years with the wrong crowd. Be careful who you allow to speak into your spirit, because words are seeds. And if you listen long enough, they will take root. Most people never reach 100K because they want reward without responsibility. They say, I deserve more, but they have not earned it. They say, I want success, but they are not ready for the stewardship it requires. If you cannot handle small pressure, you cannot handle big prosperity. The higher you go, the heavier the responsibility. That is why many people stay low, not because they are cursed, but because they refuse to be accountable. Discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny. Without it, your dreams remain dreams. You say you want to be wealthy, but can you wake up early? Can you plan your day? Can you keep your word? Can you control your appetite? Small disciplines create great destinies. Most people never reach 100K because they love theory more than practice. They read, they listen, they plan, but they never move. Information without implementation leads to frustration. It is not the knowledge that changes you. It is the obedience to that knowledge. You can attend all the seminars, watch all the videos, buy all the books. But if you never act, nothing changes. Faith without works is dead. Vision without execution is illusion. The difference between the dreamers and the doers is obedience. Doers don't wait for perfect conditions. They start with what they have, where they are, and they trust the process. Most people never reach 100K because they see money as the goal, not as a tool. Listen carefully. Money is not the destination. It is the servant of purpose. When you make money your master, it enslaves you. But when you make it your servant, it multiplies your impact. If your only goal is to make money, you will compromise easily. But if your goal is to create value, to solve problems, to serve with excellence, money will find you. Chasing money makes you tired. Chasing purpose makes you timeless. Most people never reach 100K because they hide behind excuses. I don't have time. I don't have the right people. I don't have enough money. But listen, every excuse is a lie your fear tells to keep you comfortable. No one ever started with everything. Everyone who ever succeeded started with something small. But they refuse to stay small. You are not limited by what you lack. You are limited by what you believe. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. It doesn't exist. Start where you are with what you have and let faith make up the difference. You say you don't have time. Wake up earlier. You say you don't have money. Learn a skill. You say you don't have support. Encourage yourself. The problem is not the lack of resources. It is the lack of resourcefulness. Most people never reach 100K because they fear failure more than they desire success. They are afraid to look foolish, afraid to lose, afraid to start and stumble. But listen, failure is not the opposite of success. It is part of success. Every failure is a lesson. Every mistake is a mirror showing you what correct. Those who fear failure never discover their strength. Do not be afraid to start small. The seed always looks insignificant until it becomes a tree. Fall 7 times, rise 8. Every time you rise, you become stronger, wiser, deeper. You cannot lose if you refuse to quit. Most people never reach 100K because they pray without planning. They want heaven to move, but they have not moved. Prayer without action is presumption. Action without prayer is arrogance. But when prayer and planning walk together, success becomes unstoppable. Do not just ask for breakthrough, prepare for it. Do not just pray for opportunity, build capacity for it. Heaven does not waste resources. If you are not ready, your blessing will not be released. Prepare before you are seen. So when the door opens, you are ready to walk through it. Most people never reach 100K because they do not understand seasons. There is a time to sow. There is a time to water. There is a time to reap. But most want to skip to the harvest without passing through the process. When things don't happen quickly, they assume it's not working. But sometimes delay is not denial. It is preparation. The seed does not grow because it is seen. It grows because it is hidden. When you are in the hidden season, do not despise it. That is where character is built. That is where roots go deep. That is where strength is born. Do not rush out of the season of training, or you will collapse under the weight of success. Most people never reach 100K because they do not know who they are. They copy others. They imitate trends. They compare themselves until they lose their uniqueness. But listen, imitation kills innovation. You cannot be great trying to be someone else. There is something in you that no one else carries. There is a sound, a gift, a calling, a skill, unique to you. You must discover it, develop it, deliver it to the world. Money follows authenticity. The world rewards originality. You are not behind. You are not late. You are being prepared for your appointed time. And when that time comes, no man, no system, no delay can stop you. Listen to me now. The reason most never reach 100K is not because they are cursed. It is because they are comfortable. They want results without responsibility, blessings without building, progress without process. But not you. Not after this night. Because tonight something is changing inside you. Your mindset is shifting. Your hunger is awakening. You will no longer chase comfort. You will chase growth. You will no longer seek validation. You will seek vision. You will no longer wait for the perfect time. You will create it. You were not born to live average. You were born to multiply, to increase, to impact. The moment you decide to rise, heaven aligns with your decision. Listen. Success is not for the chosen few. It is for the few who choose. And when you choose discipline over distraction, consistency over comfort, purpose over pleasure, the 100K will not be your ceiling. It will be your beginning. The world is waiting for what is inside you. Rise, work, build. Because the journey to 100K does not start with money. It starts with mindset. And once the mind is renewed, the destiny is unstoppable. A pauses, looking across the audience, voice softens, now go. And prove with your life that you were not born to be ordinary. You were born to create, to lead, to multiply, and to live in abundance. Without a renewed mind, no amount of money will make you rich. Listen carefully, because this truth is deeper than it sounds. Many of you are chasing what your mind cannot yet contain. You are asking for abundance, but you still think in scarcity. You are praying for overflow, but you are still operating from lack. The problem is not that the doors are closed. The problem is that the key in your hand is the wrong one. Until your thinking changes, your reality will remain the same. Money is a mirror. It does not change you. It reveals you. If your mind is small, money will only magnify your smallness. If your mind is fearful, money will only multiply your fear. That is why so many rise fast and fall faster. They get the blessing before they have the capacity to sustain it. Their bank account grows, but their character shrinks. Their possessions increase, but their peace disappears. Because their hands were ready, but their minds were not renewed. There are people in this world who have everything but live as if they have nothing. They are surrounded by gold, yet their hearts are filled with poverty. They are busy counting coins, but they have never learned to count purpose. They have a rich appearance, but a poor identity. Do you know why? Because they pursued money before they pursued renewal. When your mind is not renewed, wealth becomes a burden. It becomes a master that drives you, not a servant that serves you. A poor mind cannot manage plenty. A fearful heart cannot handle freedom. The mindset that creates survival will always destroy sustainability. You cannot keep what you are not prepared to handle. You cannot manage what you have not matured into. Look around this generation. Everyone wants to earn more, but few want to learn more. Everyone wants to increase what's in their pocket, but no one wants to expand what's in their head. That is why money flows away from the unprepared. It leaves the hands of those who treat it carelessly and finds its way to those who understand how to multiply it. If you do not renew your mind, you will always return to your default pattern, no matter how high you climb. You will always sabotage your own progress because your mindset will pull you back to where it feels familiar. You can relocate your body, but if your mind stays in the same place, you have not moved. You can change your job, your country, your friends, your environment. But if your thinking remains broken, your life will still produce broken results. Some people say, if I could just make 100K, everything would change. But if your habits, beliefs, and self-image do not change, that 100K will only pass through you. It will not stay with you. You will treat it the same way you treat the little you have now, the same fear, the same doubt, the same mismanagement, the same emotional spending. Because wealth is not in the number, it is in the nature of your thinking. Without a renewed mind, abundance feels like a threat. You will run from opportunities because you secretly believe you don't deserve them. You will downplay your gifts because you fear being seen. You will find reasons to fail because success feels uncomfortable. You will call it humility, but it's really insecurity wearing a holy face. Your mind is the gatekeeper of your destiny. Everything that comes into your life must pass through that gate. If your mind is closed, your life will be closed. If your mind is limited, your results will be limited. It is impossible to live beyond the boundaries of your own beliefs. What you believe is what you become. Renewing your mind means breaking every lie that life has taught you about who you are and what you can be. It means challenging the voices that told you you're not enough. It means refusing to let your past define your potential. Some of you are trying to build a new future with the language of failure still in your mouth. You keep saying, I can't. I'm not ready. It's too late. And your life obeys your words. Do you know what poverty really is? It's not the absence of money. It's the presence of limitation in your thoughts. Poverty begins when you say, this is all I can do. Poverty begins when you believe you are stuck where you started. Poverty begins when you let the opinions of small minds decide your destiny. Renewing your mind requires unlearning before learning. You must first empty what is false before you can fill yourself with truth. You must break the patterns that keep you small. You must challenge the comfort that keeps you lazy. You must rewire your habits, your routines, your expectations. When your mind is renewed, you stop chasing things. Things start chasing you because your energy changes. Your posture changes. You no longer act like a beggar. You move like a builder. You stop praying for miracles you could create through discipline. You stop waiting for handouts because you have hands that can build. People who are not renewed treat money emotionally. They spend to feel significant. They buy to feel accepted. They invest to impress. But those with a renewed mind understand that money is a seed, not a showpiece. It must be planted, not paraded. Your mindset determines what you attract and what you keep. Some of you keep losing opportunities, not because you are unlucky, but because your mindset rejects abundance. You self-sabotage the moment things start to go well. You feel anxious when doors open. You find ways to shrink again. That is not life fighting you. That is your old mind defending its comfort zone. Renewal is painful because it requires the death of your old self. It means letting go of excuses. It means facing your own patterns. It means accepting that you were the one standing in your own way, and that truth hurts. But once you face it, freedom begins. Do not confuse education with renewal. You can have degrees and still think like a slave. You can have certificates and still behave like you are unworthy of success. Renewal is not about information. It is about transformation. It happens when revelation enters your heart, not when data enters your head. When your mind changes, your language changes. You stop saying, I can't afford it, and start asking, how can I afford it? You stop saying, it's too late, and start saying, it's my time. You stop blaming the system, the family, the economy, and you start building your own solutions. That is what the renewed mind does. It shifts you from victim to visionary. Look at anyone who rose from nothing and stayed there. Their wealth began in their mind before it appeared in their account. They thought differently. They acted differently. They refused to be limited by what they saw. If you give $1 million to a man with a poverty mindset, he will lose it in months. If you give $1,000 to a man with a wealthy mindset, he will multiply it until it becomes millions. Because wealth is not the result of money. It is the result of management, perspective, and purpose. A renewed mind sees opportunity where others see obstacles. It sees lessons where others see losses. It sees potential where others see pain. The renewed mind does not ask, why me? It asks, what is this teaching me? Every great transformation starts inside before it manifests outside. You cannot skip the inner work. You cannot bypass discipline, humility, and patience. The old mindset must die before the new one can leave. That is why many people get temporary success, but never lasting success. They change their location, their job, their network, but not their nature. They think a new house will fix an old heart. They think a new salary will fix an old mindset. But until your inside grows, your outside will shrink back to match it. Renewal is not a one-time event, it is a daily process. Every day, you must choose new thoughts. Every day, you must confront old fears. Every day, you must speak new words. Because if you stop renewing, you start decaying. A renewed mind does not envy others. It studies them. It does not complain about problems. It creates solutions. It does not fear the unknown. It explores it. That is how growth happens. When your mind is renewed, you understand that wealth is not about possessions. It is about principles. You stop chasing quick profits and start building lasting systems. You stop seeking to look rich and start seeking to become valuable. You stop asking, how can I get more? And start asking, how can I become more? Because wealth does not flow to what you have. It flows to who you are. Money gravitates toward value, and value is produced by a renewed mind. If you think like an employee, you will earn like one. If you think like an owner, you will create systems. If you think like a victim, you will attract pity. If you think like a creator, you will attract opportunities. Your income can never rise above your identity. That is why you must renew your mind to see yourself as capable, worthy, and chosen to build. A renewed mind understands stewardship. It knows that what you hold is not just for you. It's for impact. It knows that money is a tool to multiply good, not just comfort. It knows that giving expands capacity, not reduces it. When your mind is renewed, you stop being afraid of money. You stop worshiping it. You stop chasing it. You start managing it with purpose. You stop saying, money is evil, and you start saying, money is energy that amplifies my assignment. You realize that your mindset is the soil and money is the seed. If the soil is unhealthy, no amount of seed will survive. You must till the ground of your thoughts, uproot weeds of fear, water it with knowledge, and expose it to the sunlight of discipline. Then the harvest will come naturally. The unrenewed mind says, I need money to change my life. The renewed mind says, I need to change my life to attract money. The unrenewed mind waits for opportunity. The renewed mind creates opportunity. The unrenewed mind focuses on luck. The renewed mind focuses on leverage. The unrenewed mind blames systems. The renewed mind builds systems. That is why the same wind that destroys one house can lift another, because the foundation is different. When your mindset shifts, your atmosphere obeys. Suddenly you begin to notice doors that were always there, but hidden from your old perception. You start to meet people who mirror the version of you you're becoming. You start to see how every limitation was only in your imagination. Renewal rewires your relationship with time. The unrenewed mind lives for the moment. The renewed mind plans for the future. The unrenewed mind spends first and regrets later. The renewed mind invests first and enjoys later. The unrenewed mind wants applause now. The renewed mind is willing to be unseen until it's undeniable. You cannot fake renewal. It shows in how you respond to pressure. It shows in how you manage increase. It shows in how you treat people with less than you. It shows in your patience, in your posture, in your peace. The unrenewed mind is loud because it is insecure. The renewed mind is calm because it is clear. The unrenewed mind chases everything. The renewed mind attracts what aligns. When your mind is renewed, gratitude becomes your default. You stop saying, "Oh, I have nothing," and start seeing the abundance in what you already have. Gratitude is not blindness to lack. It is focus on potential. And potential multiplies where gratitude grows. If you are always waiting for money to make you happy, you will never be happy enough to attract money. Happiness and peace are not rewards of wealth. They are requirements for wealth. You must become stable before abundance arrives, or abundance will expose your instability. That is why some people lose everything the moment they gain something, because they skipped the process of internal maturity. The weight of blessing crushes those without mental strength. Renewal gives you that strength. It teaches you to handle rejection, to navigate failure, to stay humble in success, to stay hopeful in struggle. It gives you emotional control, financial intelligence, and spiritual balance. It teaches you that wealth is responsibility, not decoration. Renewal makes you generous without fear, strategic without greed, and humble without weakness. It teaches you that the goal is not to have more, but to become more. It teaches you that the true currency of wealth is wisdom, not paper. It teaches you that the richest man is not the one with the most possessions, but the one with the most perspective. When your mind is renewed, money becomes magnetized to your purpose. You no longer chase, it finds you, because you now speak the language of stewardship, not scarcity. You start walking with vision. You start thinking generationally. You start planting trees whose shade you may never sit under, because you know legacy is richer than luxury. You begin to understand that wealth is energy and it flows toward clarity. Confused people repel opportunity. Focused people attract it. The renewed mind is focused, ordered, clear. It knows what it wants, why it wants it, and what it will give in return. That clarity makes your decisions sharp. You stop saying yes to everything. You stop wasting time on distractions that look like progress. You stop chasing every idea. You build one thing deeply. You multiply through mastery. The renewed mind respects process. It knows that quick money leaves quicker. It knows that patience builds permanence. It knows that slow growth is strong growth. Renewal gives you balance between faith and work, between belief and behavior. It reminds you that heaven blesses preparation, not laziness. It tells you that wealth is not found in wishing, but in wisdom. Your wealth will always rise to the level of your renewal. That is why the first investment you must ever make is in yourself. Learn, grow, reflect, reprogram. Because your outer world is always following the instructions of your inner world. Renew your mind daily. Fill it with truth, with knowledge, with gratitude. Filter out fear, envy, and doubt. Because those are the weeds that choke prosperity before it blooms. The battle for wealth is not in the marketplace. It's in the mind. Whoever wins that battle wins life. The preacher lowers his voice, letting the words linger in the silence. Listen to me. There is a difference between being gifted and being consistent. Talent is a spark, but consistency is the fire that keeps it alive. Many people are talented, but very few are dependable. Many people start strong, but only a few finish well. The world does not reward potential, it rewards persistence. You can be the most gifted person in your field, but if you show up only when you feel like it, your gift will die in your hands. The truth is simple but uncomfortable. Talent is overrated. Consistency is undefeated. Because no matter how gifted you are, the one who shows up daily will always surpass you in time. Every great person you admire today was not made by talent alone. They were made by showing up when it was boring, when it was hard, when it was painful, when it was dark, when no one was clapping, when no one believed. They were made by small, unseen choices repeated over and over again until the world could no longer ignore the results. Consistency is not glamorous. It is not exciting. It is quiet work. It is repetition. It is discipline. It is showing up again and again and again until the habit becomes your nature. Talent says, I'll do it when I'm inspired. Consistency says, I'll do it whether I'm inspired or not. Talent is loud at the beginning. Consistency is loud at the end. You see, life is not a sprint, it's a marathon. Talent might take the lead in the first mile, but consistency wins the race. Because talent can't survive without structure, and emotion can't sustain progress. The truth is, talent without consistency becomes wasted brilliance. You can be full of potential but empty of progress. You can know what to do but never do it long enough to master it. You can start 10 things and finish none. And that's why so many people live below their calling. They confuse activity with achievement. They confuse excitement with execution. Listen carefully. Consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about doing everything right. It's about refusing to stop doing what's right. You will make mistakes. You will fall. You will fail. But if you get back up and keep showing up, you're already winning the battle that most people lose. The difference between success and mediocrity is often just one more day of effort, one more try, one more hour, one more step. The one who keeps going when others quit eventually stands alone on the mountain. Talent can open the door, but consistency builds the house. The world is full of talented people who never finished anything. Talented singers who never recorded a song. Talented writers who never published a page. Talented thinkers who never acted on an idea. Do you know why? Because talent without discipline dies of delay. When you are consistent, you may start small, but you won't stay small. You may begin unnoticed, but you won't remain unseen, because consistency compounds. Every repetition adds a brick. Every day adds momentum. Every moment of practice builds mastery. At first, nobody will see it. Nobody will understand it. People will think you're wasting your time. But one day, the results will speak for you. People will call it sudden success. But it wasn't sudden. It was silent consistency over time. Consistency is what turns ordinary people into extraordinary performers. It turns average effort into legendary impact. It transforms potential into power. Let me tell you something. The universe doesn't respond to talent. It responds to patterns. Whatever you do repeatedly becomes your reality. Your habits shape your destiny more than your intentions ever will. Talent can impress for a moment, but consistency influences for a lifetime. You might not be the smartest, the fastest, the strongest, or the most gifted. But if you are the one who refuses to quit, you will eventually surpass them all. Because talent fades when it is not fed. Skill dies when it is not sharpened. Dreams die when they are not worked on. The world does not belong to the gifted, it belongs to the disciplined. You can pray for opportunities all you want. But if you're not consistent, you won't be ready when they come. You can dream big dreams, but without daily effort, they remain dreams. Consistency is not a mood, it is a decision. It's a promise you make to yourself and keep even when it hurts. It's what separates those who talk from those who triumph. Every time you show up, you are casting a vote for the person you are becoming. Every morning you choose discipline over distraction, you strengthen your identity. Every repetition builds credibility within yourself. That's how confidence is born. Not from speeches or motivation, but from keeping your own word daily. When you stop relying on motivation and start relying on momentum, you've already changed your life. Listen, talent will make people notice you, but consistency will make people trust you. People may admire your gift, but they will invest in your reliability. Because reliability builds reputation, and reputation builds reward. Consistency is slow, painfully slow. But slow progress is still progress. If you keep watering the seed, one day it will break through the ground. But if you keep digging it up to check if it's growing, it will die before it ever sprouts. That is what most people do. They start something, start again, stop again, and wonder why nothing grows. You cannot reap a harvest from inconsistency. The soil of success only responds to steady hands. Consistency builds credibility even when no one sees you. You are training your future in secret. You are building muscle memory for mastery. You are preparing for a stage that does not yet exist. You see, the reward does not come from doing great things once. It comes from doing small things repeatedly with excellence. A person who practices one move 1,000 times will always defeat the one who practices 1,000 moves once. Because mastery is repetition perfected. If you want to be great, you must learn to be faithful. Faithful when it's boring. Faithful when it's hard. Faithful when it feels useless. Faithful when no one thanks you. Because every step counts. Every moment builds something in you that can't be faked. Consistency is the difference between potential and performance. Talent says, I could do it. Consistency says, I am doing it. You can't become extraordinary by doing things occasionally. You become extraordinary by doing ordinary things consistently. It's not what you do once in a while that changes your life. It's what you do daily. The small decisions you repeat every day shape your destiny far more than the big ones you make occasionally. If you eat healthy one day and junk food for 6, the result is predictable. If you study 1 week and waste the next 3, the result is predictable. If you train intensely for a month and quit for a year, the result is predictable. Life is not about intensity, it's about consistency. Intensity gives a burst, consistency builds a legacy. When you understand this, you stop seeking instant results. You stop comparing yourself. You stop quitting when it gets slow. You stop chasing applause. You realize that your only real competition is who you were yesterday. That's when growth becomes unstoppable. Because consistency creates confidence, and confidence creates courage. Every time you show up, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. And once you trust yourself, no external failure can break you. You will fail, yes. You will be tired. You will doubt. But consistency teaches you to keep walking through those storms instead of waiting for them to pass. And as you keep walking, something changes inside you. You become stronger. You become wiser. You become sharper. You start to notice patterns others don't see. You start to move with grace under pressure. Because the longer you stay in the process, the more the process stays in you. Consistency builds identity. Identity builds endurance. Endurance builds results. Even when you can't see the results yet, you are still growing, like roots under the ground, unseen, but unstoppable. The deeper the roots, the higher the tree can grow. Many people want the fruits, but not the roots. They want results without repetition. But success without consistency is short-lived. Don't envy those who rise quickly. Ask if they can remain. Because consistency doesn't just get you success. It keeps you there. Anyone can rise. Staying there requires discipline. Consistency makes you predictable in a world full of chaos. It makes you stable in a culture addicted to shortcuts. It makes you powerful in a generation that celebrates convenience over commitment. Every day you show up is an act of defiance against mediocrity. Every repetition is a declaration that you refuse to waste your potential. Your consistency is your testimony. It says, I am still here. I am still building. I am still growing. I am still becoming. You don't need to do everything perfectly. You just need to do something persistently. Because even small progress, compounded daily, becomes unstoppable over time. The mountain doesn't move in one push. It moves with every small, faithful shove. When you keep showing up, you change the equation. Life starts to work in your favor. Doors open that once ignored you. People begin to respect you not because you're lucky, but because you're loyal to your craft. In a world of quitters, consistency is your advantage. People may be smarter, they may be more gifted, but if they're inconsistent, they will eventually fade. Consistency is not about speed, it's about direction. It's not about how fast you grow, it's about how long you can keep going. You win by outlasting, not outshining. There's something sacred about showing up daily. It rewires your brain. It tells your soul, we don't quit. It builds spiritual stamina. It builds emotional muscle. It turns pain into power. There will be days when it feels useless, when nothing seems to move. But remember, silence is not absence, it's incubation. Progress often hides behind patience. Every day you stay consistent, you're writing a story. One day will inspire others. People will look at your success and say, you're lucky. But they won't see the nights you stayed late, the mornings you woke early, the tears you wiped in secret, the rejection you pushed through, the days you showed up empty but gave anyway. That's the price of greatness. Invisible persistence. The reward of consistency is not just success, it's transformation. You become someone new, someone reliable, someone solid, someone built from discipline, not chance. And once you become that person, no one can take it away. Even if you lose everything, you will rebuild. Because consistency is not what you do, it's who you are. It becomes part of your DNA. It becomes your default setting. It becomes the rhythm of your life. And the world cannot ignore a person who refuses to stop. You might start with little. You might start unseen. You might start late. But if you are consistent, time becomes your ally. Because time rewards the faithful, not the gifted. You don't have to do it perfectly, you just have to keep doing it. Every brick, every word, every repetition, it all adds up. That's how you rise. That's how you build. That's how you turn potential into power, not by being talented, but by being consistent enough to let your talent mature. Talent creates a moment. Consistency creates momentum. And once momentum begins, nothing can stop you. The speaker pauses, looks over the audience, voice deepens, slower now. They remember this every day. You feel small, tired, unseen, unappreciated, Consistency is working even when results aren't visible. It's forming something unshakable inside you. Keep showing up. Keep working. Keep becoming. Because in the end, it's not the talented who change the world. It's the consistent who do.